Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. I look crazy right now because I have eye makeup on, foundation, and no concealer. That's because today's video, it is going to be like a concealer throwdown, like battle of the concealers. I'm gonna be comparing the KKW Beauty to the Tarte Shape Tape. Now, if you guys saw my previous video where I reviewed the KKW Beauty Concealer and Mario palette, I did really like this, but if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that this is the concealer that I always use. So I'm very excited to be putting these two to the test. For the most part, they are pretty much the exact same color, kind of. It's a little off, like this one, the Tarte Shape Tape is a little more pinky than the KKW, but I'm sure when everything's said and done, you probably won't be able to tell the difference. So for my right side, I'm going to use the KKW, and then for the left side, I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape. Now, I'm a little torn if I should use the KKW Beauty for the powder for both of them. I think I just might, to be honest with you, because I didn't mind it when I used it for this, just it kind of gets everywhere. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to first put the KKW one on my right eye. I've worn this concealer a handful of times since I filmed that video, and I find that it works best with the KKW powder. Tarte Shape Tape I feel like works good with any powder, but yeah. So I'm going to take my beauty blender and just get rid of the excess water and blend out the concealer. So as you guys can see, that really did cover pretty much everything. So I'm just going to set this eye first just because I don't want the concealer to get too dry and then I won't be able to set it. So I'm going to go in with the KKW baking powder and just set it. Okay. So while that bakes, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape on my left side. I really hope this color difference isn't too big of a deal. I'm not too worried about it, but alright, so now that the Tarte Shape Tape is blended out, as you guys can see, that is obviously full coverage as well. Now I'm just going to take some more KKW baking powder and just put this under my eyes. Alright, so I'm just going to let that bake, and I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face, and then I will be right back. I went ahead, I put on my bronzer, I put on my brows, so now it's time to wipe away that bakage. So I'm just going to take that same Morphe brush and kind of just go like this, back and forth, underneath my eye. Alright, so you can't really tell which concealer is which. This one is the KKW, and then this one is the Tarte Shape Tape. If you look, let me zoom in a little bit. If you really look, the KKW, didn't cover as much as the Tarte Shape Tape. You can definitely still see like a little bit of my bags peeking through, whereas on this side you really can't see anything, which is crazy. Because I honestly thought that the KKW was just like the Tarte Shape Tape. It's very, very similar, but definitely Tarte Shape Tape, for me, gives more coverage. Like you can really, really see that bag right there, which is not okay. But now what I'm going to do is, let me zoom you out. I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury powder. I was going to take the KKW brightening powder, but since I need more coverage, I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to put this under both my eyes. Alright, so as you can see, the KKW Beauty still doesn't look as flawless and as full coverage as the Tarte Shape Tape does. And it's funny because I did the Tarte Shape Tape on my left eye because my left eye can sometimes be a little bit like harder to conceal. So I was like, let me give it a fair shot. Let me put the Tarte Shape Tape on my left eye and then the KKW on my right eye. And as you can still see, like I said before, there is still a little tiny bit of darkness peeking through, whereas on the Tarte Shape Tape side, there really isn't much. It's a very, very small amount, like right over here, but still, so far, Tarte Shape Tape is taking the cake for this one. So I'm going to go finish my makeup up, and then I'll be back to let you know my thoughts on the KKW versus Tarte Shape Tape. So I have the rest of my makeup on, and I have my thoughts on this concealer throwdown battle of the concealers thing. So to be honest with you, now that everything is on and I have the rest of my makeup on, the Tarte Shape Tape and the KKW are very, very comparable. Now they are two totally different colors, two totally different formulas, but if you look underneath my eyes, you really can't see a difference. In all honesty, you would never be able to tell that I'm wearing two different concealers unless I told you. Now, the Tarte Shape Tape is a little more moisturizing than the KKW. KKW, I feel like maybe a thicker, drier formula than the Tarte Shape Tape. Now, do I like both of them? Yes. Now, the KKW one retails for $18 and the Tarte Shape Tape one retails for $29, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's $29. Yeah, I mean, these two are pretty comparable in formula, in coverage. In this area right here, which is where I was talking about before with the KKW, both of them are starting to look exactly the same now that everything is totally settled in. If I'm being honest, the Tarte Shape Tape one is settling a little more into my fine lines than the KKW, but I mean, that's pretty normal for me. I mean, no matter what, concealer is going to settle into your fine lines, no matter if it's Tarte Shape Tape, no matter what kind of concealer it is. But neither of them are creasing at the moment, and I am really enjoying both of these. I have used this multiple times since I've purchased it, and I have no regrets buying it. I really enjoy the baking powder, even though it gets friggin' everywhere. I still really enjoy it. Tarte Shape Tape will always be my ride or die. I know I can count on it no matter what. But if you have the Tarte Shape Tape and you were like, do I want to get the KKW? In all honesty, they are very, very comparable. If you do invest in this one, I don't think you will be disappointed, if we're being honest. So yeah, so that is the end of this video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you in my next one.